Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
To you. I hope you're doing well this morning. It's a beautiful day in the Carolinas. Had a pretty good night last night, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. And got up. I got up a little late this morning, though. Yeah. But anyway, we're here live and in color. This is Cornerstone, of course. So more than that, it's just a heart to heart with me. Well, I'm Tony Sawyer. This is my husband, Clifton Sawyer. Just a heart to heart with us. And Cornerstone is a virtual church that we're glad you decided to come in and join. Let's see who's here. Let's see who's here. I see. Oh, you guys did come on in. I thought for a minute there at 10 o'clock there's only going to be one.
There's Johnson.
Yeah, sister and brother-in-law came in. Good morning, guys. Good morning, Bernie. Hey, Jonathan. Had you on my mind. I'm glad you're here. Hey, Dee Dee and George.
Sibley Blibley.
And Kathy.
Sibley Blibley and George Blibley.
And Kathy's already complimenting us. Thank you so much, daughter. She said, thanks for revealing the issues concerning my knees. My left knee is well. Wow. Whoa. And my right knee is fighting me to be healed.
Well, you
standing for my right leg.
Yeah, I wonder if you right-legged or left-legged,
Keep sending it some love, darling.
Keep talking to it. We had a chance to talk to a little baby last night. And mama, she's expected to come soon. And we talked to baby, and baby said some things that baby said inside of mama, said, all I hear is music.
And Esther said that when she's working, all she does is play music all day long. Different genres of music, by the way.
Yeah. And the baby said to me, when I looked and heard, I was telling her about the baby moving at a certain place. And unexpectedly, before I said it, she put her hand right on the spot where she felt the baby moving. She was moving. So it was a grand finale.
It was good. It was good. Kathy, maybe the right leg is a little resistant because it's probably been carrying most of the weight, and it takes it a little longer to get over that. So sometimes when we're favoring one side of the body, the other side gets overworked, and that may be what happened.
Kathy, I give you a little humor. My mama at 96, she would get upset. She called it losing her religion, and she would say somebody across the street that she would kick their back in. I said, Mama, you ain't had your leg up that high in a long time. I said, you get it up there, you probably fall backwards.
Yeah.
But anyway, you'll be okay, huh?
Yeah, you will be fine. And we're still standing with you. In fact, all of us are. I'm sure all of you guys that are listening, you're standing with Kathy as well, believing for her complete healing of her leg and knee. Good morning, Sandra.
Miss Kathy, I remember a lady. I was in a meeting one time, and I looked at her, and I saw what she had knee surgery. But before I could put my hand on her knee to pray or to affirm the presence of God there, I feel that in yours too, as I speak that, affirm the presence of God in your knee. I heard a growling, the knee, like it was like your stomach growling.
You could hear it.
I could hear it like it growled, like we have a air in our stomach. And when the growling left, the knee was completely fixed. Yeah. But she had knee surgery.
Sometimes negative energy lodges in certain parts of our body.
Yeah.
We hold it instead of letting it go through us. So that's part of it as well. So we're glad you're with us. Keep listening, and we believe that you're going to be completely healed before everything's done. James Dixon and Kelly, I'm glad you're here this morning, baby. James is doing well, still believing for his complete healing. And he's gone through the cancer treatments, and he's done with that. So we're just looking forward to good report after this.
I do know that your mama on the other side, I looked last night, these things have to come to me. If they come forward, I can tell you things. But when you left, I had got a glimpse of her.
I'm talking to Kelly now.
Miss Kelly. And no pain. All that left her. She is the heart of God. That red, yellow, orange, gold, and blue color around the heart that I saw. that all of us have. She's okay. She's fine.
And I have to say this too. A lot of times people know because you have that gift of seeing people on the other side after they crossed over. They tend to think you can just whip it up whenever you get ready. But like you said, they have to come. That one that's on the other side must come forward, or Jesus must bring them forward, or and also they have to want to have. They have to want to communicate with the one who's over here. So that's the issue. And sometimes it'll come like that, and then sometimes it won't.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, we're glad you're
Everything
here.
Good.
And Kim, good talking to you last night. John Grease is in the house.
The motorcycle man.
Thank you for your impromptu comments, John. I really appreciate the fact that you comment on what the live streams do for you on Thursdays at Impromptus. And I'm glad you had a chance to see them. Hey, Jill.
Miss Jill, Phyllis Lee, Jill.
Edward.
Edward.
And then, and Jill, healing for you too, sweetie pie? I hope so. And I was thinking about Dee Dee and George. I'm believing for Jamal's complete.
Yeah, I forgot about him.
Because your back's doing really well.
Mine is doing fine. But Jamal, I know I hope that what he got the last time was good.
Yeah, but
Clinton.
That's CJ. Hey, man.
Oh, Clinton.
Good gracious alive. It's been a while since we've seen you.
Yeah, man, it's been a coon's age.
I hope you've been listening.
Hope everything is flowing good, man.
Yeah, he had to move. Was it to Maryland, TJ, that you moved to? I can't remember, but I knew you had to move up north.
That was old brother Charles Jenkins.
Hey, brother Blue and the family.
Brother Blue Jenkins. Okay.
Nathan is here today.
Nathan J. Hickbar. Dr. Hickbar.
Yeah, good to have you. And then there's Pearl.
That's Pearlie.
Yeah, and Miss Kathy, you got other people who are praying with you because they're in the same boat. That's Sandra. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And hey,
okay, Sandra. Okay, Sandra, I hear you.
Sanette's saying hello from Denmark, and she said we got a new king today. Our queen stepped down.
Yeah.
I think I heard that. I read that or something.
Oh, Denmark.
1,000 years tradition continues.
Oh, you know what, Sanette? I can hear. Have you got that Denmark accent? I can hear it.
You know she does. It comes out in her writings. You know she does.
Yeah.
I would love to visit with Sanette. Good morning, Leslie.
Sanette, I bet it's pretty country there too.
It is, but I think it's colder than here. Maybe not. It may be seasonal. I don't know.
Freeze my beard up in it.
Good morning, Leslie and the family.
Leslie J. Jenkins Hickbar.
So, anyway, I'm glad you guys are with us this morning. We take quite a bit of time just to say hello to you. I know a lot of people don't want to hear all that, but we just love having you here with us.
Yep.
So.
It's like having all of you in the room. In other words, the invisible becomes physical when we see you. And when we leave the site, it seems like I know you. It returns in presence and memory, but it's nothing. I put it like the old Marvin Gaye say, "Who it was, Tamara the real. Ain't nothing like the real thing."
Yeah.
And I appreciate you guys coming online with us.
Here comes Sister Sharon. We just talked about you. We just talked about you coming in here late.
Miss Sharon, you got to pick up there. I'm coming up there one time. I'm gonna surprise you. I'm gonna come up there and shake the ground with you up there, girl.
Yeah,
if that rock query ain't already shaking the ground, where y'all live at?
We love you. We're glad you're here, Sharon.
Better
late than never.
Yeah, we had fun together. We still do online, but we had fun together some time back there. But you're okay.
I know some of you probably watching this in bed.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I bet some of them watching us in bed.
You make me want to go. I can take a nap right now again. I always like to take a nap before I go to bed anyway.
Yeah. Look, I totally understand, and I am not upset with you at all.
You know what I like about this is when you find out that God does not come and go like we think he does, or like the subconscious gives off the idea that he does, being omnipotent, omnipresent. I'm talking to him. I'm talking to him when I talk to you. When I say talk to him, I use the bypass systems to point to you. Jesus said, the Father in me. I and the Father are one. Then he said, the Father in me. Hitherto ye know him and have seen him.
Mm-hmm. Hello, Yvette. I'm glad you're here.
Yvette, the king. King Yvette.
Yeah. Glad you're here, sweetheart. Okay. I'm trying to decide how I want to do this morning. I've got a little short video I want to show you of Muji. In case you guys don't know who that is, he's a sage, spiritual teacher, and he has a little short 5-minute clip that I want to show you. That's a baby girl beating her tail. She wants a treat. And I think it would be beneficial for you to hear it. It's his personal feelings as to his relationship with God and where he is, his status.
That ought to be real good.
Mm-hmm. So I want you to listen up. And I was gonna do something else, but I think I'm gonna show that first. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay. So just hold tight. Now don't distract me, because if I get distracted, I'll mess up.
Am I that good?
Yes, you're that good. Okay. All right. Okay, let me get to it. I'm gonna adjust my screen here for a moment. And here we go. Make sure you let me know if you're here.
As long as I'm breathing, it is just God's life. Everything is God. Everything is God. It's just God's life. And if He puts in this life, the feeling to be like this or to do this, I do it. But there's no such me as my life. I don't want a life. I don't want a life for any me. It is not for me. I don't have no me. That my life, whatever it is that is having a sense I have a life, is dedicated back to God. And this is my declaration. I don't declare to the world, I declare in front of God. This is between me and God, if there's such a thing that exists. In the illusion of a separate me, this illusory me, who has a sense of autonomy, dedicate my apparent autonomy back to the Father. And it is like that. I am not holding my life. I don't want to hold my life. I don't want to hold on to life. I don't want to hold on to this body. I don't want to hold on to any reputation. I don't want to hold on to any name. I just live in my Father's light, and I am He in this way. I don't want nothing for myself, but I do have tremendous joy. This life is just full of joy and peace and love for love. The love is my life. The love is myself, my life. And the beings who I meet, they are my life also. They are inside. Even the bitter ones, the bitter and the sweet ones, they're all inside me. They're all inside my experience. And this is just it. I don't want to cling to any property or to any object or to any person, or to even this sense of the body and this sense of individuality. I'm offering it, offer it. More than I'm saying it out there, I'm saying it inside my heart. It is offered again to the source, because this body is only time. What can I keep of time? I exist eternally. It is enough. I don't have to hold on to anything of any world. And this is my freedom. It is my freedom to express this. It is my freedom. This is my highest freedom. You see, and I can let it go. I can let it go now. It's my highest freedom. That here, the capacity, the intelligence of the self can express that this love is so complete, is so unfragmented, it is so unsoiled.
Wow.
That it can only as long it is very difficult to that there's a body and there's an intelligence manifesting in it, and the feeling I am, and even have the sense of interest or relationship with other beings, and to guarantee that that is, separate from everything. One has to be careful, but as much as it lies within the capacity of this consciousness to declare that it is nothing other than coming from the Father, even in its expressions of rightness and wrongness and meanness and newness, it is all coming from and exists inside the Father, who is one. And this is all. I don't have a life that I want to hold on to, or that I am holding on to. It is offered moment by moment, day by day, year by year, life by life. It is like this. And if I express it, it is to my joy. And that, whether it is accepted or believed, it's not my business. It's not my business. I can only declare, peace be to everybody. Everybody, the good and the bad. That's it. What more I can say than this, I don't know. I am nothing. In fact, I'm nothing. I am nothing, because nothing of me I can keep. You see, I'm only apparent in my physical manifestation, my phenomenal expression. It comes through this thing. You see, I have nothing to say about Muji. God can make 1,000,000 Mujis. I'm just one tiny facet of infinite facets of the Supreme. That's all.
Okay. Let me know what you think of that. Now, I think that's I thought that was a very beautiful saying coming from Muji. I've got something on my screen that I've never seen before. What is that? What is that? Okay, there are 23 live viewers on YouTube and 8 live viewers on Facebook. Now, how do I get that off of there? Anyway, what do you think of that?
On that side.
I'm trying to see.
Right, that square.
No, I can't do it.
On the picture there.
No, it's not moving it. Anyway, they're responding. They're responding. I don't have to see us. Okay. Catherine, like what I'm glad it resonated with you. Sinette says, peace to everybody. Love it. A facet within one diamond of a lot of facets. Yeah. It's interesting. He said that God can make 1,000,000 Mujis. So he's not put a lot of value on his personal self. Yeah. Good morning, Noelle. Yeah. Indeed, he said her YouTube went out. Oh my gosh, sweetie. Well, maybe you can get it again when you come back and listen to it later. So in the meantime, let's do this. I want you to repeat this after me, if you would. This is your what I am not. And by the way, this that I have you repeat came from Muji as well when someone asked him, what is he? Who is he? And this was his response. So I want to just kind of follow in his footsteps by doing this morning. So we want you to get quiet if you can, without distractions, and repeat this after me. I am not my thoughts. I am not my feelings. I am not any opinion or judgment. I am not this body, but I'm happy with this body, with its aches and pains and flaws. I am no particular experience. I am no particular object that I can see or imagine, for they appear to me. I am the witness of them all. I am not anything that can be a constructed thought or imagination. I can't point to any particular form and say, this is what I am. I am not any form, although I'm present in the form. I am not the conditioning that took place or grew up with this body, or all of the things that came into my memory, or this memory. Some of those things I would like to forget, but I cannot. But I have found them to be insignificant. I am not any object. I am not any race. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. So now I've got this huge thing right in the blocking of my screen, but it's okay. All right. What you got on your plate today?
Well, part of it is, not part of it. My plate is loaded with you guys today. When Moses supposedly talked to God in a bush, could have been George Bush. Could have been the Bush family. Could have been the bush out in your yard. But at any rate, God is the way the book was put together. The book, let me mention something about this. And this is what I found out through insight. The author was existing before there ever was any book. You know this.
Yes.
We repeat this. And what was seemingly outside of Moses was talking seemingly to his inside. But we in this part of the story, that's seeming like through the body mind, we traveled up to this time and to be born physically. Emphasis is placed on seemingly Moses, talking to God like God was not in him because he didn't know it. He wouldn't have thought of it. It never came to him. It was never said to him. He never believed it. Somebody else around him, most of the people around him believed that God, as Jewish or Hebrew, that God had not come yet. And yet he did not know what we are knowing now, is that what was on the outside was on the inside. What was on the inside was on the outside. And this is the thing that Jesus or the book said, I go and prepare a place for you. And what he was saying is, it's going to seem like I went somewhere and fixed something for you to get. But in actuality, what they were hearing and seeing was it. He said, I will come again, meaning he was saying in the esoteric truth, it's going to seem like I come and go. This is what we do in church. We come and go. We come and go. And then when we get to church, God comes and go in the presence coming on us, in us. And yet when we leave the building, the brick and mortar, or leave the book or put the book down, somebody knock on the door and your attention is focused on what they're telling you, that they want to sell or you're doing okay. This is your neighbor. The mind automatically, I won't say it's as sensitive as some are. I'm going to say when you go back to doing things every day, it seemed like God,
your daily routine. Yes.
Yeah, God. You won't say he's left, or you won't say he's still with you. You just something acts like it's not. He's not. with you when you're talking to somebody like we're doing now. But there comes a place in conscious practice of awareness of knowing that when you talking, it is a mixed up. It is not mixed up confusion, but is what's another word for something being mixed together? Blended together. And it seems like unless somebody say praise the Lord or thank you, Lord,
jog your memory back to God.
But what I'm saying,
spiritual things
in growth of a knowing, not awareness and knowing and beingness. There is a place, and some of you already are at this place where you do not have to go out and come in, God in and out of your life. You know he's what we say through the subconscious reverse. He's the man upstairs, but he's also the man downstairs, on down and further. Jesus was saying, if you have seen me, you have seen your high self. Now, we won't say that because there's a part of the mind that says, I ain't there yet. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, and it goes back to what Muji was sharing in that little clip that we watched when he said, there is no me. And so to say that anything is happening because of a me.
Yeah.
So when there's the understanding that this is not an autonomous, we have a sense of an autonomous self, of being an autonomous self. But that in itself is illusory. And he made that comment. This illusory sense of self, this illusory sense of an I am, with that we have, that is an individual and it's an autonomous entity apart from God. There is really not, that cannot be, but we live with that sensation all the time. And what you're saying about when we go about our daily routines, or we have something interrupt our spiritual thinking, those times when we're really focusing on something spiritual or God, that's when we're just living naturally. We've kind of separated that part of us from the part of us that's spiritual. And a lot of people actually have the sensation that it's two separate aspects of your life, but it's the same.
Yeah. A good example of this is a movie that came out that called Iron Man.
Okay. Yeah.
Iron Man was a guy named Tony. And he created, like the mind create the illusion, or something created the illusion that we don't have this potential in a.
Where's your hanky?
I got something there. I don't know what it is. Excuse me, y'all. But anyway, I got it. Maybe my beard hat. But anyway, he in this movie, Iron Man, that suit that he wear. Now notice I said he wear, meaning it's not always on him, or when he put it on, it doesn't stay custom made, but it doesn't it doesn't stay on him 24/7. But he got it somewhere where all he have to do is say something, do something, and it opens up and he finds it comes to him. If he's in a physical danger, this suit will fly through the air and get on him. Yeah. That's the way we've been taught in the church.
In the church,
in the brick and mortar, in religion, in all forms of states or whatever it is. But here is the icing. We are talking about the icing on the cake. But now we're talking about, if it was no cake, there would be no need for an icing. Now we'll come to the place where we are fully we are the full respect of God, aware that every time, anywhere, this suit never go anywhere. It has always been us. Now, when I say suit, I'm talking about that potential, that eternal essence. I go nowhere. If I go anywhere, it is an illusion. If I leave and come back, it seems like it's an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
In your voice, you said, you made a statement, and my ears heard, we did that. We do that. We are doing that, being that right now, and you are on the screen with or without a recognition.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like about this, because I said one time when I got saved and all that stuff, and I said, it's okay where you are. No judgment against that. Okay. Please don't get you on the way in the knot. I'm not taking anything from you or desecrating the holy ground of God. Okay. What I'm saying to you is that the fullness of the baptism of the Holy Spirit, like we've been taught, is the full awareness of God being in and out and one with us at the same time.
Yeah. Now I need to make sure of something, because it seems like I think some of you guys lost lost the stream or whatever. Just if you're still there, I want you to type in yes, I'm still here, or just yes, okay?
Yeah,
just let me know that you're still here.
Yeah.
And just that you're still here with us and hearing what we're saying.
Yeah, because we don't want you to miss this.
Right. And I definitely don't want to assume that you're here. Okay. Because I know Dee Dee said her YouTube went out. So some of you are still here. Okay. I know this week I'm going to be very, very transparent with you. You mentioned something about knowing. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I got your yeses. Some had to switch to Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some had to switch to Facebook. Yeah. Okay. So I'll be very, very, very transparent with you this morning. This week past, you mentioned the word knowing, and knowing that it's like getting past trying to believe something into the knowing. And this week, for whatever reason, this humanity was concerned with whether God loved it. I don't know where that came from. But it was this feeling of wanting to know that God loved me. And I realized, and I heard a minister that I listen to often, who's within the confines of religion and very enlightened young man. He said that you won't believe that God, you won't believe when you're praying, you won't believe for an answer from God unless you know that God loves you. And so, and it was interesting because I was going, as my humanity was going through that. Does God really love me? I know God is love. And again, there's that word know. I know God is love. And I know God loves me, but there's something in this humanity that wants God to prove it.
I like the way you said that.
Wants God to prove it. And so when I came to that point of in speaking to the Lord as a separate entity, which is an illusion again, as Muji said, is an illusion that God is separate. But when we speak to God as if God is another, then that we're living in that illusion, but still knowing the truth. So in doing that, I remember saying to God, no, I remember God saying to me, Spirit saying to me, what do I have to do to prove to you that I love you? I had to think about that. I was walking and all of this was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I have to do to prove to you that I love you? And I thought about all of the things that I'd like to have happen for this body, for this physical existence, such as a healing or a breakthrough in finances or any of those things. But then after really sitting with that and really thinking about what it was, what would he have to do? What would God have to do to prove that he loved me? I came to one answer, and I shared it with you the other day. He would have to remove all of my shame. Shame of what? Shame of losing, the shame of not reaching the potential that I wanted. Different areas of my life where I felt ashamed. And I began to cry because I realized if God answered that one prayer to remove my shame, this humanity would know it loved it.
Okay.
So I'm saying all that to say this. We've had prayer after prayer after prayer, trying to believe God. And like the man who had the son with the epilepsy, he said, Lord, I believe, help thou mine unbelief. So we're constantly in that flip-flop in our humanity, not in our essence, because our essence knows. But in our humanity, we're constantly in that back and forth. I believe, Lord, help me in my unbelief. Because our humanity is constantly trying to come to a point of believing that God really loves me. Then that's where the questions come from. Why did God allow this? Because the thought is in the back of our minds that God doesn't really love me.
Okay, I can hear that. Every one of us come here with a niche.
A niche, meaning?
A splinter.
Okay.
With a reason, I would say simple, a reason to, as let's say, spirit is the ideal that came to you, that carries with it the knowing of the solution and answer in the statement. Okay. Just because you have mud on the tire does not mean that the tire have to stop existing. Just because you take a shower, it does not mean that you lost something and had to get back out of the shower to get it back. I see on these rain short meditations or experiences on YouTube, they walking in the rain with umbrellas, but they still getting wet.
Yeah.
I saw people at the UPS place yesterday or day before. Girl standing at it. I mean, it's freezing cold. She got a coat on and short breeches, but her legs were still there. The love that you are and you have for me is the love that I have in me of God for ourselves. You
just gave me the answer. You just gave me the answer.
I revealed it or gave it?
Really revealed it. It was revealed in through and by you. You remember when we were in the car yesterday and I said to you, you are the greatest source of my frustration.
I hear you.
But you're also the greatest source of my happiness.
I hear you.
So even when my desires aren't being met,
yes,
I still know I'm loved.
yeah. Mm.
That's on a human level.
Okay.
So it's the same, I would assume, with God, with all that is. Even when there is not this answer to my prayer the way I would like for it to be, there is still the thought, I know you love me. And so now I don't have to have any evidence. So now my prayer doesn't even have to be answered the way I want it answered in order for me to know, going back to knowing that I am loved. And I saw this in my notes, and this is profound, or it's just it's like a coincidence because it's right here based on what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It says, when we say to the threat of the mind,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I accept whatever happens,
Mm-hmm.
then we experience absolute freedom.
Mm-hmm. Experience is the word.
I'll say
Experience sounds like it's the bridge from one side to the other side.
And that absolute freedom feels like nothing else has to change. That's what it feels like.
And
nothing
between the stepping on the bridge and getting to the other side is in the middle of the bridge. It is called knowing.
It is knowing.
There has to be a bridge that was created for the awareness to travel, to seemingly travel from A to B. But in the middle of the A and B is an adjective.
Now, I got to go with the rest that happened to me while I was walking and having this conversation, this inner conversation. Almost as I got back closer to the house, baby girl and I walking, there were these guys come up with a truck full of pine needles.
Yeah.
Okay. My front yard, I've been looking at it. And I realized at the time that I saw that pine needle truck, that one of the things I was ashamed of was my front yard. And I had just said, I want God to answer the prayer of removing all of my shame. So I thought for a moment, I said, I'm going to flag them down. And I flagged them down, talked to them about coming to the house and give me an estimate. And that was when I realized I was getting rid of my own shame. In oneness, God was answering the prayer.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting rid of my own shame by what? Doing something to that yard that removed the shame. That's too simplistic. That is too simple. That is too easy. It is so easy. We miss it.
But they left.
They left. What do you mean?
Because the wind was blowing real good strong.
We chose to wait until a different day. But the point is, what I'm saying is that was the way the prayer was answered, through the oneness. All of a sudden, I had the desire to remove the shame, regardless of whether or not, now this is the thing, putting in the background how I was going to pay for it.
I understand.
How I was going to pay for it wasn't in the forefront. How I was going to pay for it was in the background, way in the back somewhere. But the desire to get it done was there. And when it happened, it's like all of a sudden I didn't care whether I had the money or not.
I understand.
And that's absolute, to me, that's absolute freedom. And it's absolute surrender. And it's absolute knowing. And it's absolute understanding that God and I are one. There is really no me, as Muji said. There's really no me. That's an illusory thing that we have. It's an illusion that I'm a separate, autonomous self. There is. So God would answer the prayer through and by me, which is the one with God or as God when it's done. I mean, it's just it sounds like a oxymoron.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, Oliver. He says, hello, life is in the simplicity. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Jill says, like the young people say, I'm good. And it's a statement of surrender. Yeah. And it is so easy. We call it unbelievable and sometimes unachievable. That's true. Thank you guys for the comments. Jill says, psychologists say that people contend with guilt more than any other feeling. Wow. That's yes, yes. How is shame related to guilt? Not sure. Maybe Oliver can help us with that. Maybe Oliver could help us with that because I know he knows what that means about the guilt.
What did he say then?
She said, asked the question, how is shame related to guilt? Yeah, yeah. Oliver says, what would you love? The how-to will always emerge once we are clear on what we desire. The how-to will always emerge once we are clear on what we desire. So I'm glad you guys are getting this because before I said it, it's like, should I say this? But I, in all honesty, I have to be transparent enough to let you know how I'm navigating through these human feelings. We have to do that, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
These human feelings. So now, just like I know you love me and I love you, even when we're the greatest source of each other's frustration, we also know we're the greatest source of each other's happiness.
Jesus makes the statement, I was sick and you visit me not. I was hungry, you fed me not. We say this often. We are actually practicing what we be, knowing that we are what we are, we have always been, and our memory comes back, which is a part of the play and the story. The parts that says, how will I get it, is good.
Mm-hmm.
The parts that say, I don't want it to look like it is now, is a part of it. And the part that says, I have it now is a part of it. And the part that says that I don't have it now is a part of it.
That's interesting you say that because we try to live by faith to get our prayers answered. Mm-hmm. We try to speak it into existence, believe it into existence, use our imagination power to cause it to manifest. And I mean, sometimes that works, sometimes it does not. For most of us, it's been a kind of a trial and error thing. But I remember the scripture that says that faith works by love.
I had this strange experience in my sleep last night that I was on a journey and I forgot my way how to get back home.
I've had those dreams.
And it was so solid. That ability to make dreams, watch this now, to make dreams, we say, come true. What is so real about the dream and the truth that seems to come is that behind the dream is the creator, us.
Yeah.
And we play the game, us.
Yeah, we do.
In union with Christ I'm gonna move the with out because it puts the distance between.
It gives you a gap, yes.
Yeah, the gap in there. And I want to remove the gap. I want to make that gap come less and less and less and less aware.
But I thank you for saying this, Pearl. She says that she learned from me years back that the shame and embarrassment comes from the ego trying to hold on to its identity. Yeah, that's exactly true.
This is what I'm coming to, Miss Pearl. And every statement that you guys make is us talking to ourselves.
It is. It is.
And what is so gracious about this? Phenomenal grace. Yesness. A phenomenal grace, yes. Ness. Is that in this yesness of phenomenal grace, everything is covered from rooter to tutor. That sounds like you're trying to lay it to the side ditch and act like we got it when we don't have it or see it, but we still see it in the spirit. I got tired of that years ago. There was a part of me that got tired, and whether you say it was the conditions or what, I decided to find out what was seeming like it was delayed by fact and not have to use faith and wear it out, beat it up, scrub it, reread it, re-examine it. That's what we do with faith.
Yes.
We don't see the thing that we trying to believe for, and we just about done stretch faith to wait about the pop.
And so I think that's where I'm beginning to get the lesson. I'm beginning to get the core of this lesson that God in life is sending me. With my yard, going back to the yard, we've got a lot of yard work that needs to be done. Want to get it done, and it takes funds to do it. Haven't really had the funds, but we've had different ones to come. This is the issue that we've been having. We've had different ones come and work on our yard just to cut the grass, blow the leaves. And for whatever reason, I don't care who we get, they will do it for a couple of times and then ghost us. You've been ghosted before? They will ghost us. They'll say they're coming and never show up again. Never come, never call. And so it's like, okay, this has happened repeatedly. So I know this is a lesson. This whole yard is now being used by God to teach me something. And it is now a constitutional work being done in me by the things that I am experiencing in life. Now, I want to read a scripture here in Philippians 2:12 and 13. It says, Wherefore, my beloved, as you have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. That means do the inner work. Do the inner work. Ask the right question. Why am I experiencing this? Not why is God letting this happen to me, but why am I experiencing this? And then the 13th verse says, For it is God which works in you, not outside of you, works in you, both to will, the want to, and the doing, to do of his good pleasure. So that means when I said, I want this truck to come to my house and I'm going to get these pine needles, I didn't consider how I was going to pay for it. I was removing my own shame, but God was in my prayer, removing the shame as me, both to will and to do of his pleasure.
You got a subject there that we can stay on for 1,000
years. I know, and we don't have time for it.
That is really a good one. That's a good one.
Yes, and Oliver, you're right. My yard is my classroom. And so now I can't resent or resist what is happening with my yard or with the people who come to work on my yard.
In the classroom, the teacher is expecting you to have your books and the material, the pen and the paper to take down notes or to write.
You just touched another area of shame.
Okay.
When I was in high school, my mom and dad were having trouble, and
they were
having personal marital trouble, personal financial trouble, and it took almost 3 months for me to get my books. Everybody in the classes had their books but me. That was another area of shame. So the healing of the shame was the final prayer. It was like the straw that broke the camel's back. It was then that God let me know that I was walking in a lot of shame. And I didn't see that before then.
Pronounced the
Diaquilin said,
okay. I got it.
I was ashamed of my carpet and the way my walls looked in my home. Spirit reminded me that they are in that condition because I homeschooled 2 of my grands. The shame left, and I appreciate it even more. Yes, darling. Yes.
Here's what I was told.
What?
Everything that you went through as a child to get where you are now is being used now as an elegant experience of God. It's not much more to say that it is and now an asset, and it was then, but you couldn't see it.
I know.
That Lord out there, that yard, as Oliver said, is a classroom. Here's what's going to happen. I looked as you were talking, going out there, and if I have to do 1 uplift or 3 a day, I know what to do to the ground because I know what's in it. You've seen me do it before because of my back surgery.
Yeah.
I can see the ground. I can see it now being a return of something that is going to attract to us a very eloquent experience. All of those things that we are seem to be dry and dirt and no grass out there is an indication that there's some part of that shame that's going to be used to bring forth a harvest in our experience of the yard.
I believe that.
I'm not, in your condition, Seth, or my condition, everybody else's, you would love to have the prettiest, greenest grass. You will.
Now, that's the thing. I also understand that the ego is the one that really latches on to the shame.
Yeah.
And I think somebody said that.
Yeah.
Because it is the ego that is comparing itself with others.
Let me share this with you.
So I understand that. So while I know that identification is being pointed out as well, but more than the identification, it's showing me where there have been areas in the life of this humanity where there have been areas of shame that
the illusion of shame.
That as an ego,
the condition of shame,
behaved a certain way, felt a certain way, thought a certain way. All of that it's my inner work.
Let me share something with you that I don't know whether I've ever said it to you or not.
Okay.
I said it to you in a metaphor. When we got married, I didn't think about having a place to take you, like a home or house.
We didn't think about that at all, did we?
Oh, we were just
wanted to be together. That's right. We just wanted
without
to be
any breaks at all.
Yeah.
I didn't want to come to see you today and leave the night and have to come back the next day.
We didn't even consider where we were going to spend the night after we got married.
All right, here's the shame. I didn't want to take you to my house to live with me because in a 3-room apartment, I was ashamed of my family and my people, and especially in a house where I got an uncle that's got some problems. And then all of a sudden your daddy said, he didn't say, I just knew by being with you, you said, we'll stay here with your family. That was the clue.
Yeah.
Now, the shame was there, and you don't know it, but when I took you around them, every time I took you there,
I felt that shame.
And so
I'm glad that you shared that, because I I know I'm not the only one who has those things.
No, you're not.
In their humanity. We know who we are as essence.
Yeah.
But sometimes our humanity needs some help.
Yeah.
And so that's the purpose of the inner work. And thank God, I'm so grateful for the Holy Spirit as the higher self that's here in this form, constantly bringing to us discoveries and opening us up, creating openings for us to evolve even more. I want to get to these comments, and then I know we've run over time. But listen, Sinette says, what will love do? Is my favorite question for myself, especially related to judgment, to others, and self-judgment, guilt coming before the judgment of others. What?
It was put in condition into you at the table, a judgment.
Yeah.
And that judgment, when I saw you, when we were kids, between 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that. I remember you.
Okay.
And I told you that. I look at that little girl that I saw standing there with Miss White, friend, the little girl that she came to see her.
Yeah.
Me and one of the running buddies in the neighborhood was standing there. And I remember you, and here, I never thought that I would see you again like now. The judgment said that out of your mouth said to her, to us, you don't want them. You don't be bothered with them. And I saw you. I didn't see you but 2 times, maybe 2 times. One of the other times I saw you was when you walked the field where my goat was, and you walked past that goat and me. I looked at you and your brother. Never would believe that right now, 50-some years later, 60-some years, all our time, 70 years our time, that I would meet you and you would be the girl that I have met when we were children. Didn't see you but 2 times. And now you're with me. That judgment was there, but it was not there as a spot to make you feel inadequate, but it was there waiting for a moment that God was going to digest that thing inside of you and cause you to talk about it now without an attachment.
Yeah.
You made it. I mean, hallelujah. Glory be to God. You made it. You made it.
I made it.
You made it. You made it to the place where now you can draw the gold.
I made it to the place where I'm not ashamed to show you who I am, and to be transparent. I'm not afraid of that anymore. That shame is gone. That shame is gone. Oliver said, to do is the culprit. To take action by doing what we know to do or what we can do. It could be as simple as making a phone call. Sure.
You would say sometimes, I don't like that. I like to fix this up before we do such and such a thing.
I gotta finish these comments, baby.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oliver says, my seeming shame is the clutter inside my home. That seeming shame can only exist if I continue not to take appropriate action, doing what I can and know to do. Oh, I know what you mean. I'm constantly trying to get rid of that shame.
Leave it alone. That's weird.
Jill says, my dad confessed that it took decades to get free from guilt. Wow. Wow. And there's something something to be said for. I know we talk about knowing who we are and talking from our essence, and we're complete and we don't need anything, and we're all, but when your humanity needs something, we as the essence is responsible for making sure it's done.
Yeah.
And taken care of. So I now am the steward as the higher self. I am the steward of this humanity. And so I now have the ability to remove my own shame, to remove the shame of this humanity. So it's good. It's all good. Anyway, I'm so glad you guys hung in there with us today. Jill, thank you for posting how to give. Thank you so much.
Thank you again, Ms.
sweetheart.
Jill, for
And
standing with us. And
I don't know why that
thank
little
you
thing is
for
up there.
the support, all of you,
Yeah.
Laverne and all the others that help us in the business.
And again, I wanted to share with you guys, Pastor and I and Laverne have been talking. Pastor wants to have, not only Pastor, but I do as well, want to have in-person settings with you guys in a place where we can have food and fellowship. And that's going to require us to have a reservation in some place that's really nice for all of us to be comfortable and have a good time. So we need your funds to go into Cornerstone, your tithes and your offerings.
That's right.
To go into Cornerstone so that Cornerstone can reserve that place for us. We can do it maybe once a month, one or two every other month, or quarterly, but we want to continue to have those in-person sessions with you guys as well as this. We're not going to cut this off.
No, we're going to keep this.
But we need you to give your tithes and offerings to Cornerstone so that Cornerstone can reserve those spots for us. So don't forget to do that. And we thank you already for your abundant support to Pastor and myself. Thank you so much through Cash App. Thank you. We appreciate that so much.
And if any of you guys that live close to us have an idea that can manifest in the physical, something to fix the yard with grass or whatever needed, we appreciate your input into that. Okay.
Yeah.
As well, we always, from the heart of God, appreciate the input or the deposit that you make into our church, our business, online classes. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
All right. Oh, hey, Keely. I'm glad you were here, sweetie pie.
Keely.
I was thinking about you this morning.
Yeah, you made it, sweetheart.
My sister's, I think she's coming up today.
Come on over here, Renee. I got something to tell you.
She and my brother-in-law, and I'm going to fix a seafood boil, I think.
I'm going to put the food on the table, and then I'm going to let you see it as seafood, then I'm going to snatch it away. And
if I have too much, Keely, I might call you, tell you, come and help me eat it. Anyway.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
But we love you guys. We'll see you next time.
See you on the turn. Brother Oliver, it's good to have you on the site with us again.
Yeah, and by the way, Ollie, thank you for being here today. I wanted to remind you that I have not forgotten about you and Yolanda's wonderful sessions you have on Thursdays.
Wish Leslie's daddy had a birthday. Happy birthday, Dad. We are recognizing all of the things that people are doing. And happy birthday to your dad.
You kind of cut right across.
Okay, that's okay. You're all right.
I was going to remind everyone that to frequent Oliver and Yolanda's Truly Live when they have it available for you on Thursdays. And I've been missing it. For whatever reason, I had things come up, and I just want to let Oliver know I'm not forgotten about you guys, and I love you, and I want to see you soon. So we'll see you again on Tuesday
at 7
p.m.
Live and in color. Technicolor, CinemaScope. Yeah.
I got to go get the cooking.
Okay. See you later. See you on the turnaround. Bye-bye.